Oh, how about now? There you go. Oh, they playing with us, baby. Oh, they playing with us. Oh, good morning. So, yeah, like I said, you had UNH, you had Target, you have a couple of things. There was an update on salt. And really, I mean, again, the deficit in the spending, it is starting to look real. So, we got a lot in store. There's going to be a lot of back and forth. But again, the stop and go and looking for that momentum, that will be key. And then Japan and global yields, I would not forget about that. But Chad Adonia, I hope you're feeling good. Welcome to the middle of the week. Happy Wednesday. And good morning. How are you? Good morning, baby. What up, dystopian? What up, Dos Nacho? Alex Enzo, Dale Trienzo, Laker J. Good morning, baby. What up, El Trapado? What up, Mr. Saeed? Devlin, Ivy. Oh, good day, start. Danny in the house. Oh, Ion, how you doing, baby? What up, Johnny B. Good? What up, Papa? Michael Brown. Oh, the chat ready to go. Good morning, King Kong. What up, Mr. Ranwards? Kurt McGirt, IPOC, Yo Man, Brian Ramirez, Hey Man, Andrea, James Cook, BDV, Louis, Caleb, Laurie, Gus Gonzo, Mitch Matson. Oh, my goodness. Are you ready? Are you ready for Wednesday? Oh, what up, Gavin? How you doing, the Watcher? What about that Twitch? Payday Devil, Point Blank, Highfield, Stark Sasquatch, Point Blank, Feed Me Seymour, Ryan HDO, Not Hacks, Blue 42, CEO, Lizzie, Lord, 12 Jimin, Highfield, and where's Blazing Bob? I don't see Blazing Bob. I usually see a Blazing Bob. I ain't ban him. I promise I ain't ban him, bro. I don't see, but usually it's Blazing Bob at the top. I'm just saying. I'm just going by the pattern recognition. Either way, Chad, good morning. So I hope you're ready. We're going to have a fun one. You know that? Even if it's boring, we're going to have a fun one. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the cult, baby. So here it is. This is Josh AI with the news. Good morning. Stocks fall with treasuries on deficit concerns. U.S. stocks are set to extend a retreat, with traders nervous about rising bond yields as House lawmakers debated tax cuts at the center of the Trump administration's policy agenda. The dollar also fell. S&P 500 futures slid 0.5% alongside a retreat in European shares. Oil climbed about 0.7% on a report that Israel could be gearing up for a possible strike on Iran's nuclear facilities. Yields on 30-year treasuries rose further above the 5% mark. The greenback lost ground against all major currencies. Republicans reached an agreement on state and local tax deductions for President Donald Trump's economic bill after negotiating through the night, while investors have rushed back into stocks on hopes that the U.S. is easing off its tariff threats. There are questions about whether gains can be sustained as concerns about fiscal deficits and mounting debt drive bond yields higher. There's a lot of optimism that has been discounted in markets, and it seems that many investors believe that the trade war is over, said Frederic Carrier, head of investment strategy for RBC Wealth Management in the British Isles and Asia. However, the underlying issues, which have been at the root of tensions for decades, have not been tackled. Equity trading volumes were light across the board. The UK and European Union extended the bidding window for debt auctions on Wednesday in response to Bloomberg LP technical issues. Globally, the yield curve for government debt steepened across most markets as worries mount around swelling debt and deficits. The rate for 10-year U.S. Treasuries advanced 4 basis points to 4.53%, while the yield for gilts with a similar tenure rose 6 basis points to 4.76%. The direction of travel is obviously higher. Lindsay Rosner, head of multi-sector fixed income investing at Goldman Sachs Asset Management, told Bloomberg TV, at the core of it, fiscal is in question, and it's not just a U.S. problem, it's a global problem. In oil markets, traders were responding to a report by CNN that said it wasn't clear that Israeli leaders have made a final decision on whether to carry out the strikes on Iran. Crude prices have been volatile since last week on mixed headlines about the fate of Iran-U.S. nuclear talks, which could pave the way for more barrels to return to a market. Meanwhile, Morgan Stanley raised its call on U.S. stocks and treasuries on expectations that interest rate cuts will support bonds and boost company earnings. The S&P 500 index will reach 6,500 by the second quarter of 2026, they wrote. They also see the dollar continuing to weaken as the U.S.'s economic growth premium relative to peers fades. The U.S. dollar has, of course, lost its luster as the undisputed safe reserve asset, said Richard Franulovich, head of FX strategy at Westpac Banking Corp. Corporate highlights Target Corp cut its sales forecast following a weaker than expected quarter. The latest sign the big box retailers' plans to recapture growth are faltering. Boeing Company has told customers that it's approaching a key production target that would signal manufacturing of its all-important 737 jet is back on track. NVIDIA Corp chief Jensen Huang blasted the failure of U.S. restrictions intended to help contain China's technological ascent, calling on the White House to lower barriers to AI chip sales before American firms cede that market to up-and-coming rivals. Baidu Inc.'s revenue beat estimates after China's internet search leader fended off intensifying competition in AI and a persistent economic downturn. Medical device maker Medtronic plans to separate its diabetes business into a standalone company. Wall Street Journal has reported United Health Group Inc.'s shares tumble after The Guardian reported that the health insurer secretly paid nursing homes to reduce hospital transfers for ailing residents. The company denied the report. They also denied thousands of sick Americans when they needed health insurance, so we can't really trust them. Bamford, the dollar is on the slide again, with investors speculating the U.S. might use a meeting of Group of Seven finance chiefs as a setting to seek a weaker currency. The suspicion is that President Donald Trump and U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent favor a cheaper greenback as a means to boosting domestic manufacturing. Some traders are wondering if they might even, despite Washington's denials, use upcoming trade talks with various nations to seek one. Market participants will closely watch for any signs that the Trump administration is indeed seeking a weaker U.S. dollar. Carol Kong, a currency strategist at Commonwealth Bank of Australia, told clients in a report, as the dollar retreated on Wednesday, options markets reflected the shift, with one-month sentiment turning the most bearish in 5 years. Japanese Finance Minister Katsunobu Kato has already said he's arranging a bilateral meeting with Bessent to discuss topics including currency matters. Both will be at the G7 meeting in Banff, Alberta. UK inflation surge prompts traders to pair bets on BOE cuts. UK inflation jumped more than forecast to its highest rate in over a year as households were hit by a raft of price increases, prompting investors to pair bets on rate cuts from the Bank of England. Increases to energy, water, and other administered prices pushed inflation to 3.5% in April from 2.6% a month earlier, the Office for National Statistics said Wednesday. It was the highest rate in 15 months and above the 3.4% forecast by the BOE. Traders brace for Treasury 10-year yield at 5% as mood sours. Traders are piling into bets that long-term Treasury yields will surge on concerns over the U.S. government's swelling debt and deficits, a situation made more precarious by President Donald Trump's tax cut bill. The murky economic outlook is fueling hedging activity in Treasury options, with investors targeting higher rates on longer-dated bonds by the end of the year. The latest spurt of downside wagers echoes sentiment on Wall Street, where strategists from Goldman Sachs Group Inc. to JP Morgan Chase and Company are lifting their forecasts for yields. Plays favoring the 10-year yield testing 5% are among some of the bigger positions. Monday's CME open interest data confirmed a large wager on 10-year yields rising toward 5% in the coming weeks, indicating new risk for a heavy premium of $11 million over the past week. A trend of options flows hedging a move higher in yields has emerged, reflected in the so-called option skew, which shows rising premiums to reflect a bond market sell-off. Top overnight news: Washington, House making progress on reconciliation bill and vote on full package could come as soon as today. Politico. House GOP's blue state members nearing deal to raise SALT deduction cap to $40K for individuals earning up to $500K. Axios. House Speaker Johnson warned Senate GOP not to make major changes to reconciliation bill. Axios. Trump mulling EO to open the $9 TUS retirement market to private capital for corporate takeovers and investments. FT. Trump chooses design for $175 billion Golden Dome missile defense shield. FT. Reuters. Trade/tariffs. Early data shows U.S.-China trade truce leading to revival in trade. Bloomberg. G7 finance ministers discussing tariffs on de minimis Chinese goods. Bloomberg. Commerce Department sets stage for anti-subsidy duties on imports of China battery components. Bloomberg. U.S. companies converting warehouses into tariff-exempt facilities for goods imported from China. Reuters. China may pursue legal action against those enforcing U.S. restrictions on Huawei's AI chips, escalating trade tensions. Bloomberg. Fed officials continue to stress patience amid uncertainty whether tariffs will spur one-off or sustained increase in inflation. Bloomberg. Reuters. Markets. Morgan Stanley raises call on U.S. stocks and treasuries, expecting future Fed rate cuts to support bonds and earnings. Bloomberg. Hedge funds cut holdings of Mag 7 and increased investments in U.S.-listed Chinese companies in Q1. Bloomberg. Renewed JGB volatility viewed as a warning to BOJ to proceed carefully on bond taper. Bloomberg. Record investments from European and Asian investors into global equity funds, ex-U.S. market since Trump's return. FT. Economy. UK April inflation surges to 3.5% in April as household bills spike. FT. Reuters. Japan export growth slowed in May as tariffs weighed on shipments to U.S., China. Bloomberg. South Korea exports contracted further in first 20 days of April, driven by lower auto shipments. Bloomberg. IMF chief says U.S. fiscal deficits are excessive and country must address its growing debt burden. FT. Reuters. China's budget deficit in Yan Apur hits record high as government ramps up support amid trade tensions. Bloomberg. Japan manufacturer sentiment little change, but outlook clouded by tariff volatility. Reuters. Corporate NVIDIA CEO Huang criticizes Biden-era export controls on AI chips to China. Reuters. Musk says Tesla on track to launch robotaxi trial in Austin, Texas by June end. Reuters. Musk announces xAI to build a 1 million GPU facility in Tennessee and to purchase more chips from NVIDIA and AMD. CNBC. Supermicro Computer plans to increase its server production capacity in the U.S. due to rising AI demand. WSJ. Google announces smart glasses partnerships as it takes on Meta and Apple. Yahoo Finance. Kraft Heinz exploring strategic transactions amid weakening demand. Reuters. Ford scaling back its electric vehicle plans, allowing Nissan to use part of its U.S. battery plant. WSJ. Fortnite has returned to Apple's App Store in the U.S. after a lengthy legal dispute with Epic Games. Bloomberg. Medtronic plans to separate its diabetes business into a standalone company. Reuters. Wolfspeed preparing to file for bankruptcy. Reuters. U.S. life insurers moved over $1T in liabilities offshore, raising regulatory concerns about retirement savings and financial stability. FT. FAA will require flight cuts at Newark to address congestion issues following major disruptions. Reuters. And Toll Brothers maintained its annual outlook despite soft demand with positive long-term trends for luxury homes. WSJ. Robinhood plans to launch a no-fee stocks and shares ISA in the UK to compete with local investment platforms. FT. Trump nearing decision on Nippon Steel's takeover of U.S. Steel. Axios. Geopolitics. Israel is preparing to strike Iranian nuclear facilities. CNN. Trump frustrated at ongoing war in Gaza, wants Netanyahu to wrap up conflict. Axios. Rubio says U.S. will impose sanctions on Russia if there is no progress on Ukraine ceasefire. FT. Washington Post. Reuters.
EU to review Israel ties over Gaza crisis amid calls for unhindered humanitarian aid. Politico. Energy. OPEC Plus seeks to challenge U.S. shale production and regain market share. Reuters.
There is more. Good morning, Chad. Happy Wednesday. S&P futures, they're down by 0.5 Wednesday morning trading, but off of pre-market lows. Comes after U.S. equities finished mostly lower on Tuesday, with the S&P snapping a 6-day winning streak. Mag 7 a notable lagger, along with travel-related names. Treasuries weaker with yields up 5 basis points. Further out the curve, sending 10s through 4.5 and the 30s through 5. Dollar down by 0.5. Gold is up by 0.8. Bitcoin off by 0.6. And WTI is up by 0.9, though off the best levels from earlier geopolitical concerns. A few dynamics in focus this morning. House making progress on reconciliation bill and could vote on a full package as early as this afternoon. However, markets seemingly more focused on deficit dynamics than modest fiscal stimulus, particularly with recent scrutiny surrounding the Moody's downgrade. Higher rate backdrops not exclusive to the United States, with Europe also seeing pressure following a hotter UK print on CPI, while longer dated JGB yields surge for the second straight session. Retail earnings takeaways mixed and seem to lean more to company specific rather than anything incremental on the macro tariff front. No notable spillover from the latest batch of upbeat AI takeaways, SMCI, Baidu, and XAI. Elsewhere, geopolitical headlines have leaned cautious, with CNN report that U.S. has obtained new intelligence suggesting Israel is making preparations to strike Iranian nuclear facilities. In addition, trade optimism seems to have waned following last week's U.S.-China de-escalation, with no deals expected out of the G7 and recent Trump-Bessent warnings about U.S. unilaterally imposing higher rates on many trading partners. Target, or no economic data today. Oh, why is that there? No economic data today. Fed Barkin Bowman will participate at Fed Listens. This week's flurry of Fed speak has been consistent in terms of central bank's wait-and-see approach when it comes to tariff impact on U.S. economy. Biggest event for today seems to be the $16 billion auction of 20-year notes following some weak overseas sessions in recent days. Japan and Australia. Global bond yield back up. Looking ahead, Thursday brings initial claims. Survey week for May non-farm payrolls. Flash manufacturing, service PMIs, and existing home sales with remarks from Fed Williams. New home sales, the only data point on Friday, and Fed Muslim, Schmidt, and Cook all scheduled to speak. Target missed cut full-year guide, though bar was low, and company unveiled turnaround initiatives, low up on better-than-feared Q1 and reiterated full-year guide. VFC under pressure on softer Q1 operating income. Palo Alto fiscal Q3 and Q4 guide seen largely in line, though some scrutiny surrounding weaker late April trends and no raise to key metrics such as RPO and NGS. Keys beat and raised full-year growth expectations, highlighting healthy funnel of opportunities. Toll Brothers up on better GM performance, reiterated delivery guide. Baidu helped by strong AI cloud revenue growth. Outside of earnings, UNH hit by a report of a secret bonus to nursing homes to reduce costly hospital transfers. KHC to evaluate strategic transactions to unlock shareholder value. Take-Two announced $1 billion secondary offering. CRI/dividend flagging tariff headwinds. And Wolf hit by a report that they are pursuing bankruptcy. Wow. Okay, we gotta hurry. We don't have much time. And I have tinfoil. I have good tinfoil. I have crazy tinfoil. I tell you, it's crazy tin. You would think Josh made foil, aluminium. Okay, pre-market movers. So Keys is up by 5.2 off earnings. XPEV 4.6 nothing. LHX is up by 4 off of Trump and 175 billion Golden Dome. Toll Brothers up 4.3 off earnings. Baidu 2.4 off earnings. RTX 1.9 Golden Dome. Lowe's up 1.8 off earnings. ON up 1.8 nothing. LMT 1.7 Golden Dome. XP is up by 1.6 off earnings. DY is up by 11 off earnings. WB is up 4 off earnings. Tuya up 3.1 off earnings. Mod is up 2.9 off earnings. Myrna up 1.8 update on BLA submission for combination vaccine of influenza and COVID. BDSX is up by 48. Insider buy. KDLY is up 21. Shareholders approve merger with Nakamoto Holdings. AKYA is up by 19. Unsolicited offer for $1.40 a share. Riley is up by 18. Private bond exchange to reduce debt. Goose is up by 14.7 off earnings. EVLV up by 9.6 off earnings. CAAS up by 3.5 first rep steering order from major European automaker. TNXP is up by 3.2 first patient dosed in phase 2 trial. TH is up by 2.5 awarded $4 billion multi-year government strategic sourcing vehicle. Trading lower, JHX is down by 5 off earnings. Palo Alto down 4.9 off earnings. Target down 5 off earnings. Take-Two down 4.9. Pricing in shares at $225. UNH down 4.1. Guardian report. TPG down by 3 3.38 secondary offering. YMM down 3.6 off earnings. MDT down 1.9 off earnings and splitting the company. TJX down 1.4 off earnings. VFC down 11 off earnings. QXO down 6. 1 billion concurrent offering of common stock. Cipher up down by 5.8. Prices 150 million offering at 7%. CTRI down 5.7. 9 million secondary offering. CCCS down 5.2. 30 million offering. VSAT down 1.8 off earnings. Wolf down 62.3. Pursuing Chapter 11 bankruptcy. LDTC down 30. Not reached agreement to relieve debt. And CDLX down by 7. Oh, wait. Is there more? No, that's it. That is it. Has it. We will get 3% growth if Trump's tax bill passes. Oh, Goose. Goose for Goose. Oh, what up, baby? So, Chattadonia, I hope you're feeling good, baby. And here at the cult, before we do anything, before we try to chase a dollar, before we try to enrich ourselves, baby, we must pay homage to a very special group of people. And Chad, I'm impressed with you. You know that? For real, man. Your voice has an impact. And I think the fact that we already see these changes and we see more people honor it, bro. I hope all of you know your voice is important. And you could have changes. And above all that, though, I think your voice is amazing. And we should all support each other. And that's why, man, every day before we chase a dollar, we got to pay homage to those who already supported us. Those who have already given up so much, went through the struggles. Even when they come home, we forget about them so easily. And I'm talking about the veterans of the United States of America. Every single day, bro, we get to live in this country. We have these opportunities. Don't take it for granted. And it's easy to take it for granted because so many people came before us, sacrificed everything, and then we act like nothing happened. So that's why, man, every day I hope that we could honor the veterans. And Chad, you have a job too. I hope when this stream ends, I hope when you go out into the world, I hope you bring this culture to the world and show this love and appreciation. So veterans, active service, the families, anybody who has given for this nation, for real, thank you for everything, and God bless you. And if anybody should be getting a crib, a house, a long-term, it should be you, baby. So God bless you, and at the very least, thank you, thank you, thank you. And big shout-out to anybody else out there giving back to their local communities, doctors, nurses, teachers, firefighters, police officers, the janitors, the coaches, the garbage men, anybody making their community run. God bless you, and thank you, baby. But, ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Place your right hand over your heart. Say it with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, baby. Son of the judge! Oh, it's game time, baby. Horna. Let's go. Oh, Chattadonia. Chattadonia. All right, we got a little bit of time. We got to move on over to Gen Pop, but I'm going to tell you guys the tinfoil. Oh! What? Right now? Oh, you get a peach foil. Oh my goodness, dude, are you kidding? Oh, that's the peach. The peach, bro. The peach. Oh, stop it. And Qualcomm is tweaking. Oh my gosh, bro, you just threw me off. Oh man. Oh, Bradley Fritzel. Okay, good morning. We got to get going soon. But did you guys know that there was a gigantic Bloomberg glitch last night? So literally, as I'm telling you about all these like failed bond auctions, right, in Japan, there was another issue in Europe and Australia. And one of the reasons why, because during one of the bond auctions yesterday, all of the terminals went down. So I don't know if the bond auction failed or did Bloomberg crash the bond auction? You know what I'm saying? I know. So that's your tinfoil. We only got 4 minutes now. I will see you guys at Gen Pop. Okay? It's a good place to be. Good place to be. So stay safe out there. Get a long term, and I love you, Chattadonia. God bless you. Let's have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. I will see you there.